Hey gang, Roland here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 5 Königsberg. That's a German light cruiser. It's one that I really love to play. I'm going way, way back. This is probably close to 6 years ago. Um, got into a forum competition. This is back when it was a different time for the game and did pretty well. You can see that I'm divisioned with Coop Dog. Longtime friend. He's a guy that used to play under the ICOP banner, and he had a little boy, and I learned when I ran into him for the first time in quite some time now. And his little boy is now 2 years old, which I was very, very happy to hear about, and I wish nothing but good things to Coop Dog, to the baby, and to Mrs. Coop Dog. So, on to the game. Now, Coop Dog was doing some training. He particularly likes Japanese ships, and so was doing some captain training. And he took Fujin, and I was tempted for a moment to take Kamikaze, but I decided, no, that would be a little bit unfair. I'm going to take the Königsberg, which as I mentioned, I really love to play. I probably haven't played this ship in a year, maybe two. It's been a long time, I think, since I played the Königsberg, at least that I can remember. I guess I should have gone back and looked at videos before I made that claim, but it has been a while. Now, I featured the Nuremberg not too long ago, and the play style here is pretty similar. You want to make sure you keep your distance. Now, you can see the range is not phenomenal on this thing, but it's not horrible. But you got to angle a lot, and you've got to make sure that you don't get smashed by big shells, because Königsberg is not too dissimilar from the Nuremberg in that it is essentially a big floating citadel. So what am I doing? Well, I'm hoping to be able to get a broadside shot, and he's going to make the game return for me there at the island. Hoping to get some AP shots on the Emil. Now you can see the reload on these guns, 7.5 seconds, really nice. And I know there's a DD there, but you can see that the peak of the island is right between me and the DD, so there's not really a chance for me to land HE shells. I'm just checking to see which way the Hatsuharu is moving. I switched to HE, and I'm going to try and get shells on the König. I don't have a shot on the Hatsuharu, I don't have a shot on the Emil Baton, but I do have shots on the König, so I'm going to try and get the König burning. Now, the turrets, you can see there, the rear turrets, they rotate 360 degrees, which is really nice, but they're not lined up properly. So if you're shooting across the port side of your ship, the left side, as you're standing at the rear of the ship looking forward, some torps in case Emil Baton races around that corner. You don't have the same nice firing arcs to the front that you do across the starboard side. Now I think your arcs to the rear are a little bit better on the port side. Now there's Hatsuharu. Can I get a shot on the Hatsuharu as he's going to move forward behind the island again? Oh, and there's a sub there. I better keep the shells on the König, so I decided to do that. Now, why am I highlighting this game? Well, I've been playing a lot of, as you can see, our second ship goes down. We've lost our Aviar and the Icarus. And I'm starting to think, okay, if Coop and I aren't able to carry this thing, we're probably going to lose this. Now, he's gotten himself detected there, so he's making a run for it wisely. And there's finally, after 32, 37 shells, I got fire on the König, so I'm going to see if I can keep him burning. And I'm just chipping away. It's not terrible power or anything, but you know, the consistency of the guns. They're accurate. There's another fire. And if I can keep the König burning, I am chipping away at his HP. Now, Hatsuharu looks like he's moving forward. I'm going to be able to get guns on him now. Why he pushed in like this is beyond me, but I should be able to help finish him off. There's a nice chunk of his HP. He's going to smoke up. And I do get a fire on him. And I'll just keep the guns this way. I was tempted to switch back to the Emil Baton, but maybe I can get the König burning again. And I'm targeted by two. Some torpedoes away. Coop's not able to run into those. I'm hoping they're faster than he is. Now I can outrun those torpedoes. König is burning again. Their cachalot is going behind the island. Now we've lost the Ioba, or however you'd like to pronounce it. And the bad guys have lost a Jaguar, or Jaguar. And I'm going to try and get another fire going here on the König. I'm pushing 50,000 damage here just in the first 5 minutes. There's another fire, so that's fire number 6. And that's really kind of what the strength of this ship is, in my opinion. You have to avoid getting the big shot on yourself by angling, using terrain, using smoke when it's available like it is here. Now, I'm kind of taking a chance getting this close, but I wanted to get a shot on the car. And I just whiffed as he turns out, but he's going to stay visible for a little bit here, so I'm using his smoke plume to get some idea of what he's doing. And I do catch him. That's fire number 7. Fire over the island here and hope I can finish him off. And I land 3 and finish him off. So that's kill number 1. But we're down 5 ships. We've lost Sayoba, Emerald, Icarus, Avier, and the U-69. And I'm going to switch back to AP now and try to finish that Emile Bretagne. And hope that he will continue to show me some broadside. Use the island there to make sure that my plume didn't get me spotted. And that's kill number 2. And you can see that Coop Dog has also finished someone off. So he's taken out the König. I took out the Hatsuharu and the Emile Bretagne. Now, with help, of course. I'm not claiming that I did it all. But, you know, we're 6.5 minutes in. I'm sitting at 60,000 damage in a Königsberg. Now, granted, it's a low-tier match, and I've played this game a long time and have some idea. I'm really hoping that Daniel Lunch will push in and get that. As Edu Andres loses his U-69, so we're now down half our team. Now, sometimes what will happen is the sub will let everybody get past him, and then he'll pop up to spot and throw torpedoes. So I'm hoping that's what's happening here, and that he's going to pop up, and he did. I didn't expect him there. I expected him to still be on my left side, but that's fine. Like I said, guns rotate 360 degrees. I think I can finish him with just the front guns. He's going to try and get underwater, but with 7.5 seconds, I think I can still get him. Oh, Derflinger, he gets him. That's all right. Either way, he's gone. And this is looking a little bit better. We're down 6 ships. Bad guys are down 5. We've got 2 caps. Bad guys have only got 1. But we're going to lose our Giulio, and we could lose our Furious, is kind of what I'm thinking right now, just because of his position. If he continues to run north, he might be okay, but then he's going to have to cross. And I'm guessing that the Nicholas over there is probably smoked up along the 10 line. And Giulio and the Furious are trying to finish him off. You can see the smoke there. And you can see my comment there in the chat. I think the Giulio is going to get sunk here. So I am going to position to be able to help defend the Bravo cap. I have to be careful that I don't put myself in a position where I'm taking big shots from their remaining König. So I'm going to have to be aware of where the aircraft are from the Vesa. Giulio does go down to torpedoes from the Nicholas. Not too surprising there. Looked to me like he was making a big push into the smoke in an effort to try and get him, but the Nicholas player was a little bit too cagey for him and did kind of run to the north side of the smoke and catch him with torps. Now, I've got AP loaded, and I'm hoping we're going to see some game returns here with some full broadsides, but you just never know. Aircraft have me spotted, but I'm not too concerned at this point because it looks to me like the Gakasa is a little bit more concerned with Coop. You can see I can't use the C turret. The angles on it are just, look at the bottom left of the screen. But I am able now, as I'm turning out, to get more shells on the Casa. And I think he's going to come back this way. And this AP, as you know, German AP does, great penetration. And I'll just keep pouring it on. And if he does another game return, and it looks like he might, he's probably going to throw torpedoes. Right? I think we can expect that. But I think with what he's doing right now, I think I'm going to be able to finish him. I'm trying to keep an eye on, you know, can we see their battleship? There's a nice chunk. And this probably will finish him. Then I just have to avoid torpedoes. And now, can I do the same thing to the Omahas? The König is, well, he's moving this way, but he's moving slow. The Gaida is probably right behind the Omaha. Could maybe even be in front of him at this point. Now, there's the Gaida. And is Omaha going to do the same thing? Now, Omaha is very squishy, and these shells have really great penetration. So I'm going to try and get right in through his nose, do a little bit of damage, temporarily take out a gun. And I am turning out because that battleship is probably taking a look at me. You see I'm detected by two. They're just to the right of the center screen. And I'm going to try and get shells on the Gaida. He goes dark. You can see shells coming from the König. I've slowed down to try and avoid those. I'm hoping to be able to get eyes on the Gaida again. There he is. And this HE on a destroyer is pretty darn effective. You can see the shells are very accurate. So I pick up the Confederate. And he says, I don't want any more of that. I'm going to smoke up. Which is fine. Got his broadside. Let's see if I can put a few more shells into him here. I'm guessing he's backing up, but we'll see. Nope, he pushed forward. It's all right. He's turning out. I think I can probably get him here. As long as I can keep eyes on him. I moved forward to the island to be able to avoid his torpedoes and keep myself out of harm's way from the König. No, okay, so he's escaped. Besser's going to throw some torpedoes into the side of the Derflinger there. And I'm looking at the Nicholas along the A line chasing our Furious. There's not a whole lot I can do. T-22 is trying to help. I'll put some shells out on U-69, but then I need to move a little farther south and I need to get guns back on the Bravo cap. Koenig's going to be pushing into the cap. Gaida's already in the cap. They're probably going to secure it here in just, well, another 20 or 30 seconds. I'm sitting at 4 kills, 108,000 damage. We're just shy of 13 minutes in. And I'm going to go AP in the hope that I can do some damage to the König because I'm fairly close range here. And the AP is pretty darn good. Now we'll see. I mean, König is very tanky Tier 5 battleship. I got to be careful here. Ooh, there's the Gaida. That's not enough. I'm switching to HE. I would have to be closer, I guess, to do any real damage to the König. And I wouldn't expect to be able to do citadels or anything to the König. I mean, their armor is pretty nice against that, especially at low tiers. But God, I might be able to finish off the Gaida here. No. So I'll just try and burn the König down. He's probably spinning his guns. Yeah, you see the rear guns. Are they spinning this way? Yeah, he does look to be spinning his guns this way. I got to get a fighter in the air. And my AA working for such as it is. A couple guys on the deck with handguns. And just trying to avoid the torpedoes. I'm going to slow down here so that I can turn just that much faster if I need to. I'm angled well against any potential Gaida torpedo strikes. I'm continuing to put guns on the König, just chipping away, and I've slowed down enough to be able to avoid that torpedo. I really need to turn back to the cap now. I got to be able to help. You can see Coop is pretty banged up. I'm not detected. That tells me Gaida has either gone behind an island or is just too far away at this point. So I'm sitting with 7 citadels, and Coop does a really nice torpedo run. He just about got blapped, but he survives it, and he does take out the König, which is great. We actually have the lead on ship count. We've got 4 ships. We're up by roughly 150 points. I know that's not exact, or excuse me, 250 points. But this is far from over. Gaida is still in the game. It's really just a one-shot deal to be able to take Coop out, and Gaida comes around this corner. You can see I've got HE loaded, and this really should be it for Gaida. Oh, he survives the first. So I'm going to slow down here. I'm going to turn in, and I'm going to try and avoid his torpedoes because he's turning in. I know the torpedoes are already coming. Wait for that second set. There we go. And that's that. And that really does secure the game for us. 4 minutes to go. Still got a CV that we're, concerned about. I've got a lot of HP. Coop can secure the cap and then just make a run for it. Looks like the CV is going to be focusing the Derflinger. Now, even if he sinks the Derflinger, we still have the game. And I'm going to run for the other cap in the hope that maybe I can find the CV on the far side of the map. But as I said, the play style being so similar to the Nuremberg, which I highlighted a few weeks back, if you like light cruisers, it is, I think, a little bit more fun to play them in the mid and low tiers, especially if they have nice accuracy and shell trajectories, and the Königsberg really does. The Omaha, while it's very fun, has much more lofty arcs, and it's a little bit different play style. You can be a little bit, at least in my opinion, a little bit more aggressive with the Königsberg. It's not that I did anything, at least in this game, that was going to put me out of the game in a hurry. I tried to limit the risks that I took and just keep the guns hot. Now I can see, based on where that aircraft just went, where the enemy CV is. Our CV, I think he wasn't really looking at the minimap. There he is. So I'm just trying to get him to move north, and now I can just pepper the with shells. At this range, I don't know if the AP is going to do any good. I'm going to get a couple volleys of AP and see whether or not I can get any damage done, and if not, I'll just switch to HE. But this game is over either way. We've got 2 minutes, 26 seconds left on the clock, 60 points, and we have it. And one last volley with AP, and it really just isn't doing the job. I guess maybe one more. No. Well, switch to HE. I should be able to do better damage with HE. I'm not going to get any pins from this range. Pick up the strike team. All kinds of awards in this game. It's a lot of fun to play. If you haven't tried this line, I really recommend it. If you have, and you're playing the higher tier ships like Hindi now, I really recommend go back and try this thing out. It's a gas to play. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.